Are Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul going to be in Better Call Saul?
These two worlds cross over in a way that you haven't seen before, that's for sure.
Vince, comment?
What he said. Perhaps.
Hey guys, Kiwi here. In this video, I'll be breaking down and discussing the recent confirmation that Walt and Jesse will be appearing in Better Call Saul Season 6, along with some recent interviews involving Peter Gould, Vince Gilligan, and Bob Odenkirk from the Better Call Saul Season 6 red carpet premiere event that happened last Friday. Warning spoilers for Breaking Bad, El Camino, and Better Call Saul up to the Season 5 finale. Subscribe to the channel for more Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul content, like the video if you enjoy it, and feel free to follow me on Twitter and Patreon, links in the description. So I was originally planning on throwing this discussion in at the end of a trailer video, but I decided to dedicate talking about this subject to its own video as it could be huge news for Season 6. To be honest, I created this entire video yesterday afternoon, just hours before they confirmed it on Twitter that evening, so now I gotta go through this entire video and redo it to include the fact that yes, it's been confirmed. So let's discuss the confirmation first, and then I'll jump back into discussing the interviews teasing it like I had originally planned. And real quick, I do want to give a self-plug and say that I recently created a full video around 50 minutes long, breaking down and discussing every theory I could possibly think of in regards to Walt and Jesse appearing in Better Call Saul, so that's kind of timely considering this news coming out, so feel free to check that out if you haven't yet. I'll link it on screen, along with at the end of the video if you want to finish this shorter video first. Alright, so let me give you a quick story about my personal experience with this reveal. I create this 5 to 10 minute video discussing interview clips with Vince, Peter, and Bob teasing Walt and Jesse. At that point it wasn't confirmed yet, just teased. I finish editing the video, I pass out early, only to wake up in the middle of the night, to grab some water, go to the bathroom, to see multiple people tweeting at me to show me that the Better Call Saul Twitter page has now confirmed Walt and Jesse's appearance in Season 6. So as you can imagine, I'm a little bit selfishly salty about this. My discussion video is already completed, ready to upload, but here I am backtracking through my work to correct it and update it with the most recent news. This feels like I completed a work assignment just to find out that I did it on the wrong topic just hours before the due date. Granted, this can all be chalked up as bad timing, so first off, as I'll go into more in depth later in the video, Vince, Peter, and Bob all teased Walt and Jesse's return in recent interviews without completely confirming it as to not spoil the surprise. Then, literally 24 hours later, the Better Call Saul Twitter just comes right out and says it. This feels like if Sony and Disney would have spoiled the Spider-Man No Way Home cameos before the movie's release. Yeah, we knew they were probably going to show up, but it gives more hype leaving it as somewhat of a mystery until they're actually shown on screen and not officially confirming it until after it airs. At 9 PM PST, the Better Call Saul Twitter page just randomly drops a huge viral tweet saying they're coming back with a picture of Walt and Jesse at 9 PM. Now this is because this is right after or during a panel that the whole Better Call Saul crew was doing, which by the way, if you can find a full link to that panel, please feel free to share it with me on Twitter. All I can find is an article quoting some things that Peter Gould has said, and also I even checked the YouTube channel of the panel that they were at, and they haven't uploaded anything for it yet, so maybe at the time this video is uploaded, the video of the panel will be out, or maybe they just haven't released that yet, but yeah, let me know. But I just can't believe that this was at 9 PM. This would also be midnight on the East Coast. I completed my original video at about 6 PM PST, so it would have been nice for them to, announce this earlier in the day, but whatever. It's not like they can read my mind in regards to what videos I'm currently making, and even if they did, it's not like they would really care, right? So I just find it personally annoying, but regardless, it's now 2:30 AM and I'm back in the editing chair completely revamping the video to accommodate for the new announcement. Guess I should have waited a day to do this video, but whatever, I guess I had bad timing. We can't all be perfect, right? Let's talk about the actual announcement itself. It has a lot of fans feeling both happy and spoiled. A third of the Twitter replies to this announcement are just people hyped and excited, and then a third of the replies are people complaining that they posted this spoiler, and then the final third of the comments are people replying to the complaints saying that it's not a spoiler because it's so obvious. Let me clear this up right here, right now. Just because it's obvious doesn't mean it's not a spoiler. Let's use the Spider-Man No Way Home as an example again, shall we? shall we? Imagine how much less hype that movie would have been if Disney/Marvel and Sony would have confirmed the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield appearance just a week before the movie came out. The movie would have still been hype, it would have still been a great movie, but it would have just been an unnecessary spoiler, somewhat deflating some of the excitement. Everyone knew that the other two Spider-Man would have shown up, but leaving it somewhat of a mystery created huge hype moments in theaters with fans freaking out when they showed up. So the same thing goes for Walt and Jesse. We all knew they were going to show up, especially after the recent Peter/Vince and Bob interviews, but I would have preferred that they kept playing coy instead of just straight up confirming it. Confirming Walt and Jesse appearing in Better Call Saul Season 6 is definitely a spoiler, and I completely understand why a lot of fans are upset. Plus, I couldn't disagree more with people replying to these upset fans saying how it's not a spoiler, just saying things like it's not a spoiler because of how obvious it is, or that you should stay off social media if you don't want to be spoiled, things like this. Fans should not have to worry about the official Better Call Saul Twitter page spoiling huge moments like this. This announcement literally feels like it's stooping to the Walking Dead levels of spoiler announcements just to try and get fans to watch. There, I said it. This feels desperate, like The Walking Dead spoiling Carol, Daryl, Maggie, and Negan surviving due to future spin-off shows. Like they couldn't have waited to announce those spin-off shows until after the main Walking Dead show was over, because now we know those characters can't die. So my first thought is that since the people at AMC actually decide when the show's gonna be released, when the release date is, and when the trailers come out, and all of that sort of jazz, I thought that this was just AMC that decided to release this info, but upon further research, it appears that it was Peter Gould who announced it at a panel. He said, and I quote from an article that was linked in the tweet, he says, "I don't want to spoil things for the audience, but I will say the first question we had when we started the show was, are we going to see Walt and Jesse on the show? Instead of evading, I'll just say yeah. How or the circumstances or anything, you'll have to discover that for yourself, but I have to say that it's one of the many things that I think you'll discover this season." I'm honestly in denial that it was Peter Gould who spoiled this. Now, I still love Peter Gould, I don't hate him, I'm not mad at him, I don't want anyone to, go send him hate. Send Peter Gould nothing but love and support, even though he said this, because, I don't know, I'm just still a huge fan regardless, but, although he's the main head honcho of Better Call Saul since seasons 3 to 4, he must have also gotten the go-ahead from Vince and even AMC as well, right? I just can't believe this. It had to be a publicity stunt to try and get higher TV audience ratings for when the episodes air, instead of people binging the final season after the fact, right? Because if you know that Walt and Jesse are in the show going into the final season, more people are probably going to watch episode to episode, which will boost their ratings, instead of people finding out afterwards, after the episode releases with Walt and Jesse, and then going back and watching all the episodes that they missed. So in a way, it's guaranteeing that more people will watch the episodes as they come out, which will in turn increase their ratings. And with that in mind, this is a job, this is a business, they do want to be as successful as possible, they do want the highest ratings as possible, so I can't entirely blame them for this, but personally, I'm just kind of disappointed that they spoiled this. Yes, I do want Walt and Jesse to appear, and yes, I already did think that they would appear, but even taking my selfish saltiness aside about having to redo this video, even if that wasn't the case, I'd still be here like, what the f***, really? I'm sure I'll get over this feeling and hop onto the hype train soon enough, but right now I'm kinda too busy feeling upset and salty to even get excited for it. We already pretty much knew this was happening, the announcement feels completely unnecessary. If there's a silver lining to this, I guess they didn't spoil how Walt and Jesse would appear, so that much is still a mystery, thankfully. With that being said, what's all of your opinions? Regardless of how I feel, I'm still open to hearing all perspectives, and who knows, I might change how I feel in a day or two. I'm not cementing this as my opinion for forever. I don't want to just hate on everyone else's opinion too, so hopefully you can respect mine. It just feels weird taking this announcement negatively, but that's just how I feel, Normally I never talk about anything in regards to Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad negatively. This isn't The Walking Dead. I love Breaking Bad, I love Better Call Saul, I have nothing but positive things to say about these shows. They're my favorite shows of all time, so just feels kinda weird being a little bit negative in a Better Call Saul video. Hopefully you can understand. And to compare this situation to Hank and Gomi in Better Call Saul Season 5, I know that they revealed the Season 5 Hank and Gomi cameos before the season aired, but this Walt and Jesse confirmation is just different. Again, comparing it to Spider-Man No Way Home, spoiling Hank and Gomi being in Season 5 is kinda like spoiling that Doctor Strange was going to be in No Way Home. Didn't seem like a big deal, and it did help with promotion. Spoiling Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, however, would have been a different story. It's just on a higher level, and that's how I feel about Walt and Jesse being confirmed. But yeah, let me know how you feel in the comments below, and please don't attack each other, don't fight each other, don't have arguments over if this is a spoiler or not. I just want some clean, honest discussions and opinions, because regardless of if I'm happy or not about something in regards to these shows, I don't want it to create arguments or any drama or negativity within the fandom, at least more than my rants already can, right? So yeah, again, please don't go attack the Better Call Saul Twitter, the creators, the actors, or anyone. Just air out your grievances in the comments below, and let's move on. With that being said, let's jump into the rest of my original video that I had planned, discussing the recent interviews, teasing this, but now chopped up a bunch as we now know that it's been confirmed, so I had to edit out a bunch of speculation discussion, since that'd be now pointless and dated. Kinda crazy how I'm saying that it's dated when I recorded this like 10 hours ago, but alrighty then. As you may know, the Better Call Saul Season 6 red carpet premiere happened last Friday, April 8th, with the entire Better Call Saul cast present, along with some show creators and fellow Breaking Bad stars Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul, who, as you know, play Walter White and Jesse Pinkman. So at the red carpet event, Vince, Peter, and Bob Odenkirk all implied that Walt and Jesse would appear in the final season. They pretty much confirmed it without actually confirming it, if that makes sense. We'll start with Vince and Peter's interview question first, followed by Bob's question after, as Peter and Vince's question gives Bob's question more context.
Are Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul going to be in Better Call Saul?
These two worlds cross over in a way that you haven't seen before. That's for sure.
What he said, perhaps.
There we go.
I don't know. It's just one of those things. You know what? Let me word it this way.
We don't want to be too squirrely.
It would be a damn shame if the show ended without them appearing on the show, would it not? Perhaps that is the best answer.
Okay, there you go. It's not that zen-like.
No, I guess not. It's not. Anyway, you heard it here, folks.
So video interview number 1. This interview features Peter Gould and Vince Gilligan discussing whether or not Walt and Jesse will appear in Better Call Saul Season 6. Peter first says that the worlds crossed over in ways that we've never seen before, and Vince just says perhaps. Vince then elaborates, saying it'd be a damn shame if the show ends without them appearing. Now, they're being coy here, as you'd expect, but in my opinion, this does imply that Walt and Jesse will appear in Better Call Saul Season 6. In a way, they are hinting that it'll happen without technically spoiling it, so it seems like they already know it will happen, so they're hinting at it without fully admitting it. So long story short, I want them to be in Season 6, I think they'll be in Season 6, it seems obvious that it's gonna happen at this point. Also, I find it just hilarious how I just so happened to complete and upload that Season 6 Walt and Jesse video that I've been working on for literal months, and then they practically get confirmed just a day or two later. Now moving on to video interview 2.
What do you think fans will be most surprised to see in this final season?
Boy, I could tell you in 2 words, but I can't tell you. Some wonderful new characters.
Yeah, there's some really wonderful new characters that we are very much
Your brain
looking.
is going to explode when you see them.
The second interview posted about the Season 6 red carpet premiere shows Vince and Peter now with Bob Odenkirk. Bob's asked what fans will be most surprised to see in Season 6, and Bob says that he could answer that with 2 words, but he can't. He then goes on to say that there's some wonderful new characters, and that our brain is going to explode when we see them. Now at first when he says 2 words, I'm thinking that it could be someone's death, such as Gene dies, or Kim dies, or even Howard dies. But since Bob elaborates on his answer by saying that there's some wonderful new characters and that our brains will explode when we see them, I imagine he's actually talking about Walt and Jesse. The names Walt, Jesse are probably the 2 words that Bob wanted to say but couldn't. Also, he said that there's some wonderful new characters, plural, meaning 2. Now this could be a technicality, as Walt and Jesse would technically be new characters to Better Call Saul, although they're obviously not new characters in general. Walt and Jesse are probably the only 2 characters that would cause our brains to explode, like how Bob says. During the interview, interviews, they act like they can't fully admit to it, with Bob even saying that he could say it but can't. Is this because they were already planning on revealing this info during the panel so they didn't want to reveal it a day early? Or did they have a change of heart after these interviews and decided that they should admit it outright since they hinted at it way too much in the interviews for it to be a secret anymore anyways? So since they didn't spoil how Walt and Jesse will appear in season 6, at least we still have a little bit of a surprise waiting for us. We don't know what episode, we don't know what the circumstances, we don't even know what timeline it's going to be, if it's going to be during the Better Call Saul timeline, or if they're going to do a flash forward missing scene to the Breaking Bad timeline, or if we could even see Jesse during the Gene timeline. We don't know yet, so there's still a little bit of anticipation there. I just wish that they would have fully kept it a secret still. But hey, at least as a consolation prize, I guess my 50-minute theory breakdown video is still relevant about Walt and Jesse, so go check that out if you want. I'm a lot more positive in that video than I was in this video, that's for sure. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'd appreciate a like on the video if you've enjoyed anything that I've said today, and if you're new to the channel or just haven't yet already, subscribe and hit that bell notification to stay updated on when I post new content on Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. I thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out!